Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be filming part 2 of my most recent declutter. I will have the other declutters linked below. I have a playlist for everything that I've decluttered so far in 2022. If you haven't seen the first video, be sure to check that out. This video is going to be in a little bit of a different style because my nieces came over and I gave them a bunch of stuff out of my declutter box because I don't see them very often. So I wanted to be sure to do that while they were here. What I did with those items is I took photographs of them and I will upload them up here so that you guys can see what they are, and I will still chat about them per usual, but they won't be in the usual format that I do when I like lay them out and like show you guys, you know. But there is still quite a few items that I will be doing that way. So I think first I'm gonna do them the OG way, and then I will hop back in so you guys can see the things that I've already given away and given to a new home. That sounds good. Be sure to stay tuned. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Megan. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I post twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday. And I'm looking to branch into posting more. So be sure that your notifications are on. Also, if you enjoy this video at any time while watching, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. It really does help my channel out, helps me to grow. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump into this declutter. Okay, so here we are set up and ready to roll. The first thing I'm going to be decluttering is this Jouer Blush in Bloom stick. I was really excited about this one because I do enjoy this formula and I thought I would really like it, but the shades, like, do you see how that looks like peachy? On me, it pulls a really corally red. And I just don't enjoy those tones on myself. That's actually why I had decluttered the other blush stick. And I was really disappointed to find that these pulled in tones that I didn't like. So I am going to go ahead and declutter this one just because it doesn't really meet my shade preferences. The next item I'm going to be decluttering is from Persona. This is their bronzer stick. This one is in the shade Dune, and my oh my, like, she doesn't, okay, it doesn't look that bad on camera, but like in person, this is so stinking warm. It is literally to the point where it is orange on me. I did use it 2 or 3 times to see if I could make it work even for like an underpainting situation, because I do enjoy underpainting, but it's just too orangey on my skin tone, and I know that I will not use it because of that. So I'm going to declutter it. I'm sure someone else will be able to, you know, get some use out of it. Next up is the Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balm. This one's in the shade Mango. I picked this up because a friend over on IG had raved about it really highly, but I just didn't like it. I thought it would be more like of a gloss with a tint, but it's like thick and just makes it look like there's this like white goopy film on my lips. It looks so disgusting. I've only used it one time and I had wiped off the applicator. I didn't even think to do it that time. I should have. But yeah, this is just, I don't even know if the formula is good because it looks so bad on my lips that I just took it off. So yeah, decluttering it. Next up is the e.l.f. Putty Blush. Formula-wise, I did enjoy this and I got a lot of use out of it. It is a very buildable formula, which I personally enjoy. I'm kind of just moving away from certain tones on my face, and I don't know if it's a phase or if it's something that's gonna last a long time. But like this tone is not something that I would wear anymore. So I feel like someone else might want this rather than me just like hoarding it. So that's why I'm gonna declutter it, but it is a nice blush and I do enjoy the formula. Just, I'm not into the shade anymore. Next up, this is the Sephora Best Skin Ever. This was sent to me via Octoly, I believe. And this is the shade 04N. I requested 10N and they sent me 04. So this is literally like, let me, I put it on my face and I almost died laughing because I It is not the shade for me, you guys. It is not the shade for me. Like, look at that. That is like, yeah, way too fair for me. I did try it on the skin just so that I could leave a review, and it didn't work well for me. It looked really cakey and grabbed onto my patches, but due to the shade, I'm not going to keep it for lightening. I'm going to like pass it on because I'm sure someone else would just like love to try this or have it. So yeah, gonna declutter this one. Next up, I have the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. This one's in the shade, I don't know, it says Fenty Glow 01. I was so pumped about this. Luke actually bought this for me because I really wanted to try it out. And one, the smell is just weird. It's not my jam. I'm not going to swatch this one because I did only use it once and then I sanitized the end. So maybe a friend in the community will feel comfortable taking it because I know there are so many people that love this, but I just didn't. Like it, for me, it didn't have that wow factor, and it settled onto like my lip lines and just looked like my, like literally Luke asked what was on my mouth because he said it looked dirty. I was like, okay, nice. So yeah, this did not meet the hype for me, so I'm gonna let it go. Next up, I have this KKW Beauty blush in the shade Flower Wall. This is a really pretty, a really buildable formula. It's a pretty light pink. I decided to declutter it because I'm frustrated with Kim right now and I'm not supporting her brand. I think I have one item left of hers in my collection and it's the only item I won't be decluttering for now, at least. I have a shade similar to this in my Cover FX duo, so I don't need to, especially since I don't really wear powdered blush anymore, so I'm gonna declutter this one. Next up is from Solic. This is the Treasure Island Glitter Eyeshadow Palette. This packaging is so pretty, and this was sent to me in PR. I have used it one time. The glitters are so beautiful and they went on the eye really easily. I just don't, I like hardly use glitters now ever since I got it in my eye. Glitter is not eye safe. I knew that before going into it, but I did it anyway, and yeah. I still use glitter from time to time, but not that often. And I just feel like other people use it all the time and they love it. So I think someone else would really enjoy this a lot more than I would. So for that reason, I'm just gonna go ahead and pass it along. Next up, I have this Honest Beauty blush that I really do enjoy, but again, I just don't use powders really anymore. I need to wash my hand off. It's really pretty though. It does have this like shift to it, which is gorgeous. It makes for a really like illuminated cheek, which like I said, I really like. I just don't reach for powder blush, so I'm decluttering it. All right, next up is a little bit of skincare. This is the Feeling Good Hyaluronic Acid Plumping Serum from Pharmacy. I have not opened or used this yet. I got it during like a BoxyCharm pop-up sale. And some people mentioned how it had like a scent that was not appealing. So when I went into Sephora, I smelled it and I agree. There is a non-appealing scent to it. So I didn't open it because I'm hoping that I'll just be able to get it to someone else because there are people who do like this product, but I just know I will not be able to get past the scent. So I'm decluttering this. Next up, I have this e.l.f. CC Camo cream. This one's in the shade Light 240W. I didn't mind this. I know a lot of people like didn't enjoy this formulation, and I didn't really have a problem with the formulation. It's just the shade that I have is like way too deep and yellow for me. So I had kept it in my collection because I was mixing it with my LA Girl pigment, but that's not something that I really want to do like on a daily basis. And I don't love it enough to do that. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this one go. Next up, I have the LYS Pressed Powder in the shade Translucent, I believe. Yes. And I tried this for a while because I know there are so many people that love it. but it just was not working for me. It looked really terrible under my eyes, and it looked like gritty on the skin. Like it wasn't melting into my skin very well. It was just like sitting on top and looking textured. I did try this for like weeks because I was really hoping it would work for me, but I don't think that it's a bad powder. It just didn't work out for me, which, I mean, my skin is really weird about powders that I use. So, I mean, if you love it, that's really awesome. I didn't love it, and that's okay. So I'm decluttering it. Next up, we have this Melt blush. It's the shade Golden Hour. This shade is gorgeous. I was super excited about this one, but like, look how beautiful that is. So pretty, right? But when I got this out to rotate it into my stash and really start wearing it, it broke my makeup up so bad, and like it didn't last long, and it broke my makeup up really poorly. It was really weird because the first time I used it, I didn't recall it doing that. But when I brought it back out, it was doing that. And this is not that old. I have not had it that long. I know I haven't had it 12 months. So I don't know. I think maybe there's just something here that doesn't like vibe with my skin chemistry. And that's okay. That happens sometimes, but it's not for me. So I'm going to try to find it a new home. Next up, I have this makeup by Mario. It's a Master Crystal Light Reflector. It's a mouthful. I never used this as a highlight. I just used it as an eyeshadow topper because it's really pretty. It's really sparkly. So sparkly. So sparkly. But I'm just not a person that like reaches for singles really or toppers. So even though like this is gorgeous, I think that there's just probably people that will use it more than me. I really come to find that I am a palette gal. That's what I reach for the most. That's what I use the most. So I'm also like, you know, being mindful of that as I move forward with purchases. I know that I'm probably not going to use it if it's like a single or something like that. So this is really good, really beautiful in the eye. I don't know how it is as a highlighter. I did not try it that way. But yeah, I'm going to let this one go. Next up is this Wishful Clean Genie Cleansing Butter. I was really looking forward to this because I have some other stuff from Wishful that I'm obsessed with, but I didn't like this. One, I don't like the scent. It reminds me kind of baby powder-ish, which I think it's probably the mixture of those two. But I didn't really like the smell, so I don't really think I would be able to get past that. And I can't even remember. I tried this so long ago. I can't remember if it didn't remove my makeup well or if it left I don't remember why, but I know that I tried it once and I was like, no. So I think, I mean, that could have mostly been attributed to the smell, but I don't even recall because this has been in the box for a while, but I'm hoping that someone else will be able to try it out and enjoy it. Next up, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. I'll just swatch whatever I have left on this little thing here. I did a full review over on IG, and I think that the tone of this is so beautiful. It just didn't like work out that well for me. It got like patchy on my cheeks. I tried it with 3 different brushes. I tried a different amount of application. It just like was not playing well with my skin. Also, I just think that the applicator is like messy because look how it just gets so gross there, and you have to twist it to get it to come up. And I hate in the morning when I'm like trying to do my makeup, I have to twist this. My fingers are covered in bronzer. I'm trying to put it on my face. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's not what I thought it would be, and I'm very underwhelmed with it. So I don't know. I'm going to try and see if someone else wants this because I don't foresee myself reaching for it. If no one does want it, then maybe I will keep it and just try to power through it and use it to underpaint or something. But yeah, it was a miss for me. Okay, so now we're shifting to the point in the video where I'm going to be showing you guys the things that I have decluttered and that I gifted to my nieces. These pictures aren't super pretty. I was just taking them super quick in front of my, like on my carpet to just try to get them out into the kids. I did like a whole just like basket of like makeup brushes and stuff like that. So they had like their own little makeup starter kit. So cute. So yeah, I'm gonna go through that stuff with you guys now. The first thing is gonna be the Scott Barnes Cheek Chic palette. I always keep hanging on to this because it is beautiful. You get the highlighter formula in there and you get the blush formula. However, I don't really reach for powder blush. You guys know that if you've been here. So it's not really something I felt like I should keep in my collection. If you notice, there is a shade missing out of there. It's the shade Mango Fizz. And that is basically the whole reason that I had been hanging on to that palette. If you're curious, that Scott Barnes palette is not depowder friendly. I popped it out. It broke the shade, so I dry repressed it and I have it. Yeah, this is the best shade in the palette in my opinion. So I wanted to make sure that I still had it. I wasn't ready to let it go, but I was ready to part with the rest. So I decluttered that. The next item is from ABH. It is their mascara. I don't know if my hair looks stupid. If it does, whatever. It's their mascara. While this does give me good length and good volume, this flakes really bad on me. And I was trying to like make it work and rotate it in with my Bite Beauty one. But then when the girls were over and I was like, oh, I could just toss that mascara in there. So I did that and I decluttered that. The next item is from Flower Beauty. It's the Jungle Lights palette, you guys. I've had this for like over a year. It's been out in my collection and it swatches beautifully. I've swatched it and it is so stunning. I know so many people love this palette, but like I just don't reach for it and I don't know why. And I'm not holding on to things anymore that I don't reach for. Like I'm done doing that. Like if I'm not going to use it actively or I'm not like so in love with it that I have to keep it for this reason or that, then like I'm just letting go of it and I am like freeing myself of the guilt of letting go of things. I'm also freeing myself of the guilt of keeping things that maybe, you know, I just love for sentimental reasons, like that kind of stuff. Like I'm really working on that part of like my collection and myself and that journey. So yeah, I went ahead and gave this one to the girls just because I feel like they would love it so much more than me. And it's, you know, it's going to be one of the few things they have. It's not going to be one among many. So I was happy to give that to them. The next item is the Physicians Formula Matte Butter Bronzer. I really like this. I think that is a good bronzer. I had this bronzer and I had the OG Physicians Formula one. And I really just don't use a lot of bronzers in general. So I didn't really feel like I needed the matte version and the normal version. So since they were there, I was like, okay, like I was basically trying to build them a full face, but not with like foundation. I was like, you know, trying to get all the other stuff. So I was like, I'm going to get rid of this. That way you girls will have a bronzer. And I was like showing them how to do it and stuff. So it just, honestly, it was a really satisfying experience. So I did that. I gave them that bronzer. Like I said, it's a great bronzer. I really enjoyed it. But just for how much I use powder bronzer, which isn't a lot, I have to be mindful to use it. I didn't feel like I needed it over them. So I went ahead and gifted them that. The next up is liners. So the dark 4 that you see in the middle, those are ones that I always hang on to because I'm like, oh yeah, if I want to accent this lip, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what, you guys? I'm a nude bitch. I'm a nude bitch. Like, it is what it is. So I was like, you know what? It's finally time to part with these. I kept one red liner for my one red lipstick that I really like. And I was like, I need to get rid of the rest of these deep shades. And then the Just of Colors one you see all the way over on, well, it's on my left. I don't know what side it'll be on because it does the flip thing. I don't know. I used that. It was okay. It's really light. It didn't do much for me. The same with the Becca one. And then the Charlotte Tilbury one, I was trying to pan that, but like it's gone bad. The formula is so hard on my lips and drying. It's not smooth and creamy anymore. And I was like, you know what? I have lip liners that are way better than this. So like, I'm not going to hate pan it. I'm getting rid of it. So I gave them all of those to play with, whatever. The next item is the Disney Princess collab with Sigma when they did the Cinderella one. It was a gloss. It was really pretty, but it was really like metallic-y, which like just really isn't my vibe. And yeah, so I decluttered it. That's one that the girls loved. The formula wasn't bad at all or anything. It's just like the way that it looked on my lips, like, just wasn't for me, and that's okay. It happens sometimes. Okay, sorry to take a little break to call in a pizza. I'm literally so excited. We're getting pizza from this place that I love. It's all like homemade, fresh, like it is so delicious. It's expensive, but it's worth every dollar, and I'm very excited about it. Very excited. Okay, so the next item is this little Natasha Denona single shadow. This was gifted to me by a friend. I have used it a couple times, and it is so beautiful, but I just don't really like reach for singles. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I don't. I just don't. I don't know why. That's just who I am as a person. I'm a palette gal. And I had rotated this into one of my Shop My Stash baskets, and I was like, if I don't use it in this rotation, then I'm gonna just let it go. And guess what? My bitch ass didn't use it. So I stuck to my guns and I let it go. So the girls have it now. Next up, we have another lineup of lip products. I don't know why that Sigma one's in there again. Oops. It was a lot going on. And then I also went ahead and decluttered the Revlon lip crayon. I thought that formula was nice, but it's not something that I reach for. And I wasn't necessarily like a fan of the color on me. So I tossed that in the declutter box. And then we have the Laura Lee gloss that she launched with the Candy K collection. And like, it was okay. But honestly, for how they were describing it in the video, I was expecting it to be like top tier, one of my fave gloss moments. And like, it just wasn't. Like, it wasn't super glossy. It wasn't super hydrating or anything like that. It was almost just kind of like, it reminded me like sticky, cheap gloss. Like, honestly, friggin', if you guys live by a dollar store, you know how they have the Believe Beauty brand. That gloss is better than that gloss was, and it was like $20 gloss. Like, you know what I'm saying? Which, like, I have eyeshadow palettes from Laura Lee, and I think that they're really great, but she really just missed the mark on the gloss. Honestly, it just like was not that good. And then the last one over on the right, that's from Solik. And honestly, I didn't even try this gloss. I think the packaging is super beautiful. Looks good in photographs. But that shade is not something that I would wear. I swatched it, and it was just too like bubblegum pink for my personal preference. And I feel like that was something that the girls would really enjoy. So he threw that in there as well. Next up, we have two ColourPop Super Shocks. These shades are both super gorgeous, and I have used them. Both of them have pan in them. I should have took a picture, dang it. But both have pan in them, and then I decluttered them just because when I got another Super Shock from a friend who gifted it to me, and I didn't realize how dry my other ones were until I got this one, and it is just like stunning, creamy, buttery goodness. And I was like, oh man, my Super Shocks are dried the fuck out. So that'll be something fun that they can just like play around with, whatever. So I tossed those in there as well. They're just expired. The next item is the NARS Orgasm Blush, the cult classic. I had gotten this from a friend, and I was really excited to try it. But for me, this was just had too much gold shimmer in it. Like, the pink shade was pretty, but the gold shimmer caused like a deeper shadow, which just really didn't work for my skin tone. And one, I'm not really reaching for powder blush, so that was also factoring into that as well. So yeah, I just decided to give it to them, which was like the really nice thing about so much of this stuff is that I could just like give it to them. And I was just like, oh, I'm free. It was so freeing. Because a lot of times a big part about decluttering, it's like, I just don't want to throw this stuff away. And I am able to resell a lot of it on Mercari, which is great. But like, I don't have a ton of people around me that are like super into makeup and skincare and stuff like that. So it gets a little bit more tricky, and I do worry about like, where's it going to go? But like, that was so nice about this stuff. I was like, yes, they're going to play with this. It's going to be great. So the next item was the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. You guys, I know everyone and their mother loves this, okay? I bought it once. I hated it. But everyone loved it, so I bought it again because I was like, maybe it was just me. And maybe it still is just me. But I hate this. It doesn't do anything for my lashes. It gets dry, it flakes. I don't feel like it gives me the volume or the length. Like it doesn't do it for my lashes. Like unfortunately, I wish it did because it's like $3 and my Holy Grail is like $28. So it'd be really great if it worked super well for me, but it just didn't, unfortunately. So I passed that along to them as well. Next up, we have a couple liquid liners because they had me do their eyeliner. So I was like, okay. I threw in this Aesthetica liquid liner black. I got that in a BoxyCharm, I want to say. Never used it because I have a Holy Grail liner that I love, tried and true. That's what I wear. The other one is from Huda Beauty, and if you've been here, you guys know I love Huda Beauty. But can I tell you a secret? That liner fucking sucked. It was arguably one of the worst that I've ever tried. Just like nothing was really coming out. Like it wasn't pigmented, it wasn't wet. It was really hard to like work with, and it just sucked. I literally used it one time and I was like, fuck this, declutter. So yeah, and I was really disappointed because I love so much from Huda that I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this. And then I was like, oh my god, it's terrible. Which happens to every brand. Like you can't love everything from every brand. So is what it is, you know? Next up, I have two more glosses. One is from Kosas. It is their lip oil thing. I don't recall the shade. I was expecting to be blown away by this, the way people talk about it, but I just didn't get the hype. Like, I thought the shade was really pretty, but it wasn't moisturizing or, like, didn't make my lips look like, you know, like, there was just no wow effect. I was super underwhelmed by it. And to be honest, I have, like, several other, like, lippies that I would reach for over this. One of them being, like, the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. Like, this knocked that one out of the park, and it's, like, a fraction of the price. So I know I want to be reaching for it, so I just decluttered it. And then the other Laura gloss. This one was, I will say, this one was a smidge better than the clear one. But again, it lacked anything. Like, it was like, all right, I'm gonna say it was bad. It was just so bad, which sucks because I had high hopes, but like, it just wasn't there. Like, I have so many other great glosses in my collection. So I really just, and that's the thing too. If I have items that like I have better and I know I have better, like I'm gonna reach for the better item every time. So those are just gonna sit. And the cool thing too is about this, like normally those items I'd just be like tossing. Like the girls don't care that I've used it. Like, you know, they're gonna play with it, whatever, they love it. So that really worked out in that sense. Next up, we're getting to eyeshadow palettes. They're like not right here, so I almost forgot about them, to be honest. The first one is the ColourPop Truly Madly Deeply palette. I did pop those pressed glitters out before I gave them to the girls because that could be so dangerous. But I don't know. I wanted this palette forever. I finally got it, and then I used it for like a 1 week, one palette, and then that's literally been it. I used the glitters as like nail polish toppers, which I really did love, and I was able to get use out of them that way, but like I never use it on my eyes. If I'm reaching for something pink, I'm reaching for Huda. So it just was like sitting and sitting and sitting. So I decided to go ahead and declutter it. There was nothing wrong with like the formula or anything. I thought it was consistent with the ColourPop formulation. It's just not one that I reach for. I mean, it is what it is. Then next up, it was time. It was finally time. I was finally ready. I used to be a big J-Star fan. Yes. I dabbled in the brand. And, you know, when all that stuff came out about him and how he was and stuff, I was really just like disgusted. And it was hard. I don't want to say I was in denial, but I was like mourning the person that I thought he was, and then finding out that's not who he was. It was a lot to process, and it was sad. It was infuriating. especially because I'd spent like a lot of my money on his products, and his products were very good. I was able to empty and pan a lot of his items that I had in my collection, and then I depotted all of the palettes and kept the shades that I really loved or didn't break. And I was able to get like some really good use out of them. I'll insert, you know, the picture now of them when they were in their, you know, depotted state. I did hit several more pans. Like I said, I really did enjoy, you know, the formulation and the color stories and everything like that. And I don't know, I had always hung on to them because I did love them. But the thing is, a lot of what I put on my face and what I use, like I also post that on Instagram, talk about it in stories, talk about it on YouTube, and I don't support him or his brand anymore. So it's not something that I want to post about or that I want to be on my feed, because I don't ever want anyone to get confused. I'm not about him at all. So finally, like, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years later, I'm ready to get rid of those shadows. And I think that the cool part about that is, like, if you're just decluttering to declutter, like, you're gonna regret getting rid of stuff. Whereas, like, if you wait until you're ready, you're not gonna regret it. You're gonna feel like a weight has been lifted. And that is how I feel about it. Like, I was finally ready to let them go. And I feel really good about it. I don't miss them in my collection. I'm not sad about it. I think, you know, the girls will have a lot of fun playing with it. There's a lot of bright, fun colors. So I was really, like, finally just happy to let them go. I wasn't mad, sad, or angry anymore. I was happy to let them go. So yeah, that was a really exciting declutter. Freed up a lot of room in my magnetic palettes, I will say that. And then the last two palettes that I decluttered are the KKW Classic and the KKW Classic Blossom. These, you can tell, are well loved. I completely panned the one. I had a few pans in the other. And honestly, after Kim, like, made her comment on, like, working women and stuff, like, I was just so disgusted. Like, to be honest, I was like, I don't want to give this woman any more of my money that I've been working hard for her to go out and speak about. I felt attacked, like, personally attacked. And I felt like a lot of other women probably felt that way as well. And I'm like, I'm no longer going to, me as a working woman is no longer going to line your fucking pockets, because disgusting. Like, that comment was so disgusting. And I don't want to reach for any of my KKW stuff. I don't really want to put it on my page because, again, I don't want people to get it twisted. So for that reason, I did declutter these two, and I felt really okay about it because they have gotten a lot of use. The girls will play with them. They don't care about that stuff, you know. It's not like they're posting them anywhere. So I felt really good about that. They're going to be able to get a lot of use out of them. I do have one more KKW palette in my wrapped palette series. It's the Classic 2. And I haven't unwrapped it yet. And when I unwrap it, I will decide what I'm going to do with it. If I'm going to test it out a little bit and decide, or if I'm just going to go ahead and pass it along. The other one that I have is the KKW Beauty Camo palette. And this one's hard because I'm obsessed. I love this palette so, so much. And, like, I don't even have to tag the brand or do any of that kind of stuff when I post about it on IG. But, like, people know what palette that is. So it might be one that I keep for a while and just don't post about it. I haven't really decided. But I do have 2 remaining items from Kim in my collection, but I don't support her bullshit. Like, that comment was gross. So gross. It, like, makes me mad thinking about it even now. I also am, this is part 2, obviously, but I'm still continuing to filter through my collection and see what I like, what I don't like. I think this will be the last declutter until the end of the year. So I did one fairly early in the year, I think in like February, These will probably go up in the May, June area, and then I will do another end of the year declutter in like December. So keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, because I'm constantly just working through like what I have and really curating stuff, and I'm not hanging on to stuff anymore. And I have like 13 palettes that haven't been opened yet, and there might be some of those that I decide that I don't want or whatever. So likely if I'm getting rid of stuff, it's gonna be eyeshadow palettes or stuff that I get through my like wish list swap with Becca that I just don't really enjoy anymore. So that is kind of what's going on there. This turned into be a little bit of a longer winded declutter, and I know it was kind of like weird because I had like photos and not photos and like whatever. Like, I know that that was a weird setup, but like I said, I was able to give that stuff to someone else. I was like, take it, like that kind of thing, because it just felt good. But yeah, I think that that's going to be all from me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.